How we doing, everybody? Now listen, if you're keeping up to date with the whole saga of Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal, then you saw the news today that a trial has been set. Step aside Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, because this is going to be good. And I don't mean good that I'm relishing that people are in trouble, but you know, it's quite the drama show. Big drama show. Yeah, it is. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. Here's Masvidal here. As they say, they've set the date in court. It's going to be August 20 something, I think, or 29th or 17th. I could have looked that up, but I didn't. But still, there it is. Judge sets trial date in Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington case as court proceedings continue. Listen, you know the story by now. You know what happened. After their fight at UFC 272, which Covington dominated, to be fair, out-wrestled, out-hustled Masvidal from start to finish. Masvidal landed a few shots, but it was Covington's night for sure. Since then, Masvidal said, you know, I've got to work on my wrestling, got to get better, and apparently that's what he's been doing, but he's got this to handle first. There is talk of him fighting Gilbert Burns. He wants to fight Gilbert Burns, by all accounts. They both agreed to it on Twitter. But if he's going to fight him, I'd try and fight him before this lawsuit goes down, because trials are very, very expensive. Anything to do with the legal system costs an absolute fortune. And often, the more money you spend, the best lawyers that you have, you will get the best result. So, anyway, let's go through some of these details. So, they appeared in court after the alleged assault of UFC rival Colby Covington. At a report hearing Thursday in Miami, Judge Zachary James set a trial date August 29th in the aggravated battery case, in addition to a docket sounding August 17th. Masvidal wasn't there, didn't show up. That's fine, because he's got a lawyer showing up for him. The judge also granted a motion for defense to inspect Covington's watch, the center of a second charge of criminal mischief, which Masvidal also faces. The defense claims that the alleged Rolex is not valued property and it is a Frankenstein watch. And I think what he means by a Frankenstein watch is a bit of this, a bit of that. You know, what they do is they take some aftermarket parts, they take, you know, old damaged Rolexes, they take them apart, they'll take the straps, they'll take links, they'll take this and that, put it all together. There you got a new looking watch, but it's a Frankenstein because it's a bit of this, a bit of that. Covington's claiming it's worth £95,000. Jorge's pushing back. You know, I don't know any about that. I don't know if it is a real watch or not, but who blooming cares, because that's not what we're talking about here. So, also, Covington's claiming he's got concussion or he's got brain damage. Of course, I know what he's doing. He's trying to, you know, you want to make the best case. You know, you want to try and get the most money out of this. If you go in this far, if you go in this route, then you throw the kitchen sink at it. You do. I'm not saying who's in the right. I'm not saying who's in the wrong here. I'm just reporting on what we've seen. And it is a juicy story if you're into mixed martial arts. I mean, come on. This is two of the biggest stars going to a trial. The MMA media is going to have an absolute field day with this one. So let's have a look. Another motion requested past medical records. An immediate evaluation was delayed to a further date as the defense is still working on the acquisition of the emergency room records from the current incident. However, Cohen also stated he is unsure of the practicality of an immediate evaluation as concussions heal. Some of these fighters walk around with concussions, so I don't know if it needs to be immediate, Cohen said. A motion to strike out on the basis of failure to report authority was denied without prejudice by Judge James, and the new court dates were set. The first date, a docket hearing, August 17th, is a pre-trial, and if the parties agree, it will go to trial August 29th, as well as addressing other motions that may have been filed. If found guilty, Masvidal could face 15 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine for second-degree felony, aggravated battery, with additional penalties for the criminal mischief charge. In his only public comments, Masvidal referred to the alleged incident with Covington as a mutual combatants. By mutual combatants, meaning they both agreed to go for it. 15 years. I mean, look, listen, I don't think Masvidal's looking at 15 years, let's be honest. First of all, what he's got going in his favour is that he didn't just attack somebody that can't fight. He didn't go pick on some guy that Masvidal could just dominate. He went and allegedly attacked a guy that just beat him in a fight. So believe it or not, that will come into, if he's found guilty, that will come into play for sure. now 15 years, that is the maximum that you can get. I mean, I don't have any examples now, but you often hear for like these little petty crimes, you know, maximum sentence of $50,000 or 5 years in prison or whatever. That is the absolute maximum. The absolute maximum. It doesn't mean that you're going to get that. Or a $10,000 fine. I'm sure Masvidal would rather have a $10,000 fine and just get on with the rest of his day, get on with his life and put this whole saga behind him. Covington needs to be careful on the old brain damage claims though, because that's going to cause headaches for him down the line as he goes forward in his fight career. We know Covington's trying to become the champion of the world. He's in a good position, of course, to challenge Kamaru for a third time. You know, he's going to have to really make a point. He's going to have to go out there and get a big win, a signature win, get a stoppage and make some noise. But still, listen, he's on the right track. The only man to beat him recently is the champ, Kamaru Usman, the pound-for-pound #1. Now, Masvidal seems to have been talking or flirting with a fight with one Gilbert Burns. And if I'm not mistaken, they both agreed to it on Twitter. And if I'm Masvidal, you want to get that fight done ASAP. I went through a trial, a civil lawsuit with my former management. And by the way, it was all thrown out in the end. It was all thrown out in the end and I am owed a significant amount of money. But at the time, it was prior to my fight with George St. Pierre. The trial went on for about 3 weeks. The actual lawsuit itself went on for over 10 years. Very stressful, very costly, very expensive. As I say, I did have to lay that out, but hopefully I've got a lot of it coming back to me, fingers crossed. But anyway, so for Masvidal, if he's going to fight, he wants to do it before that. The trial that I had was a few months before my fight with George St. Pierre, so it wasn't too much of a distraction. In fact, it wasn't. But we haven't got much time. We're in May, June, July, August. So July 30th, I think is what he's calling for. That would be perfect timing. Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns. I mean, that is not an easy fight for either man. I think Masvidal would have the slicker striking. I think he's slicker on the feet. He's probably got better footwork and maybe a more diverse striking array. But you got to give the power to Gilbert Burns. The man just went toe-to-toe with Khamzat Chimaev in an incredible fight, potential fight of the year candidate. We all know the grappling advantage goes to Gilbert. Simple as that. You know, if Covington can take him down, even though Covington's a better wrestler, but if Covington can take him down, if Gilbert can take him down, you'll be in a world of trouble. The jiu-jitsu of that man is unbelievable. But I got to say props to Masvidal for calling out Gilbert Burns, because Gilbert Burns is not an easy fight for anybody. And much like Colby Covington, he is on a collision course, trying to be on a collision course, trying to create a collision course with Kamaru Usman once again. Yeah, everyone wants to fight the champ again. That's the problem. Kamaru is such a good champion. He's literally lapping everybody. That's why Khamzat Chimaev. That's why Khamzat, I think one more win, he'll be the next man to fight Kamaru Usman. After Leon Edwards, of course, which of course is another rematch that Kamaru won the first time. But yeah, anyway, there it goes. It is a trial between Colby Covington and one gamebred Jorge Masvidal. Step aside, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Step aside. What's he called? What's he called? What's he called? The murderer. Oh my God, my mind has gone completely blank. What was his name? What was his name?
Are you intoxicated?
What was his name? O.J. Simpson. Jeez Louise. Step aside, O.J. Simpson. Step aside, Amber Heard. Oh dear. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be a big drama show. Anyway, there it is. Just thought I'd share that with you, talk about that. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. All the best.